I think is mad at me for not spending enough time with her. But I do spend time with her. I do. I just don't think it's enough in her mind. And so when I have my own time, I don't know if she's really supportive. So I think she undermines it. So, for instance, I am now taking a landmark course, which is the first one I've taken in over 5 years. And I'm so happy and excited to be back. And so it was the first time last Wednesday, and I hired a babysitter, and I told the babysitter what needed to happen, which was at 9 o'clock, everything needed to be starting to calm down. And in general, everyone's voices had to be low because Evan has to go to bed early. The lights down low. And the kids know all of this. And I said, 9:15, they should start getting ready for bed. And then by 9:30, if they can't go to bed because they've never gone to bed with a babysitter before, I said just have them playing quietly. And I went over it and when I came back, my husband was mad at me because the babysitter was not doing her job and he refused to step in. He was sitting on his bed on the iPhone, pissed off at me because he hadn't gone to sleep. And the three of them, the babysitter and the two kids, were in the kitchen, all the lights on, talking in loud voices. And I came home at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't even tell you, I was so angry, and it was a total breakdown. I mean, I'm taking the seminar called Breakthrough, coming from Breakdown. So, perfect. Yeah. So I got really mad at I got the babysitter out of there as quickly as I could. And I just didn't want to deal with her at that moment. And then I was mad at him because he in my opinion, should have been adult-like and taking care of business. But I got really mad at her because I had told her exactly what needed to happen, and it was no different than what normally happens. And she refused to. I mean, whatever. She didn't refuse. So I wonder, okay, so then I didn't talk to her until the afternoon of the next day. And when we sat down, she's taking Landmark, I was finally able to be with her after I meditated and whatever. And then she just came out and said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I know you told me what to do. I didn't listen. I didn't want to listen. Because I had said, I'll write things down from now on out." She goes, "I didn't want to write anything down. And I was mad at myself when you got home, but I didn't want to accept responsibility for it, so I just blamed you." And we had a whole yelling match, which we had not had in, I would say, a year, if not 2 years. And I was really proud of her for being responsible, and then I was just responsible for completely losing it. That's not how I want to be. I said, I don't want to be like that, and I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to control my anger. I said I was hurt, but that didn't, justify yelling like that. So we had a good, time of coming back together. But now thinking about it, why would she blame me unless she was lashing out, unless there was a goal of revenge, right?
Yeah, but I don't know that I would take it more deeply than what she's already said. And,
okay.
If you're feeling guilty because you're doing some self-care in the evening when you know the kids would prefer for you to be with them, then I would look at that not from the standpoint of her discouragement, but coaching yourself to be like, is there any way that I could do my self-care, different before or after, so that I could spend that time that I think is probably really important to them, where I could actually play with them in the evening for, 15 or 20 minutes or whatever it is, and not see that as cutting into your self-care time. That's an opportunity for you to play with both your kids. And how could you set up your life so that you could do that
I don't
joyfully?
want to play with them. I don't want to play with them. I don't like, I'll play with them. I play with no problem. But I can't play with the two of them because it starts to get really aggressive, and I can't do it.
Like that.
Sorry?
Or do you think she wants you to play with them?
She does, but she gets really loud, and she gets, like, if I'm a character, my personality is quote-unquote nice, whatever. And so I'm like always Superman or one of the guys that are nice, okay? And she's usually the bad guy. She loves the bad guy. And then she'll start, like, attacking me and, like, talking back and being really domineering.
Okay.
So I don't want to do that. I told her, I said, listen, I don't really like to play with you guys. I told her. I said, I know you're upset with me for not playing with you guys, but I just need you to know I don't want to interact with you like that. I love to interact with you by talking, going out together. We do lots of things together. We do creative things. And I listed cooking. I said all of those things, that's where we connect. But when she plays with, I had to just take myself out of the picture and look, because I was like, is this okay for Max? But they seem to get along great. Like, he doesn't care. They have a great time. So I'm not saying you can't do those things with him, because he's handling it. I can't handle it.
Okay, so I would suggest not misinterpreting it, or maybe even you're misinterpreting it, that she needs you to spend that time with her. Because if she did, she would approach you with a deal. It's like,
she has told me she wants me to spend time like that. But what we end up doing now, and we have in the past, is Max will go to sleep, we'll stay up later, and we'll talk. We find a way to connect during the day instead of that now, since I've had that conversation with her, since she knows I do want to connect with her, and I do love spending time with her. But at the same time, I did leave them, and maybe she doesn't think I think she thinks that I'm home all day. What the hell am I doing? She has a big thing about working and being lazy and all of this stuff. So if she comes home what?
Right. Which is none of her business what you're doing with your time.
I know. I feel really judged by her and my husband. Both of them have a big thing about, like, if I'm sick and I try to take care of myself, I'm made wrong, or it's just interesting, whatever. I'm not trying to make this into 5 million people could listen to this call. But anyhow, the point I'm trying to make is...
Don't worry about it.
Right, okay. And maybe they won't listen. But no, whatever. If you're listening, God bless. So the thing is
they're learning. Yeah. Thank you.
It's like you're going to meet people who don't have the same philosophies as you, Like, if it's sick, she will go to school. She will never stay in bed, ever. If she's sick, she doesn't even let herself be sick. It's like she's stoic about it. And she's told me it's a sign of weakness. Right. And I get it, like if I hurt myself, I'm not going, oh my God, I hurt myself. I'm not doing that. But at the same time, if I'm sick, I'll say, I'm sick, I'm going to take a nap. Or I'm sick, I'm not going to be 100% today, just so you know, here I will do whatever, needs to happen, but I'm just going to be maybe a little slower or something like this. I just am straight about it. I'm not trying
now,
to pay attention.
So let's go back to this other topic of the landmark class. So are you on a weekly class now? Do you have to deal with this every week?
Yep,
okay.
The seminar. Mm-hmm. So what I've done this last Wednesday is I just dropped off with my mom, and it was beautiful. But I don't want to do that every week because I'm not picking up until 11. But it did work really well. My mom had a great time, and we were asleep when we got home. It was great. But what I'm doing is I'm putting in a door somewhere in the apartment, and we're putting in a door so that the babysitter can have more privacy, and can have more privacy, whichever way you look at it. So I'm taking a real action step, but at the same time, I'm not feeling guilty about taking the time. I'm mad at them for not supporting me.
Well, and okay, so that was going to be one. I mean, I like what you're doing, and I think, if the thing taking to your mom works, whatever's going to work so that you've got your time. But the other thing would be, at a certain point, if you chose to and if you wanted to, would just be to put it completely in their court and say, you're responsible for the family 6 3/4 of the day, 6 3/4 days of the week, and you are going to take 1/4 of this Wednesday nights, you're going to be off duty completely. And it's up to the three of them to figure out how to manage themselves, including if they want to get a babysitter. I mean, it sounds like a babysitter is not really necessary, but it is necessary because none of them are responsible. You're responsible for everybody, and none of them are responsible for each other than themselves. And nothing in your best interest. It's all in their own self-interest.
Yeah, no, they can't handle it. I mean, they will end up all fighting is what will happen, and it can't be left with alone. So I have to have the babysitter.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to have to be managing it then.
I like the idea, though, of putting it into their court, like maybe not completely, because I think that that's when thinks I'm shirking my responsibility. She has shared with me that, she doesn't like it when people are supposed to be doing X and they're doing Y, but she thinks that they should be doing X. So I think she thinks I should be. But what we could do, a good compromise might be, is like, I want you guys to manage your time. So what are your suggestions? Let's figure it out together as a family. How to best manage this. So that way, we're working it out.
Right, like you guys. Yeah, I'm going to be at my landmark class. You guys are going to be here. What do you need to make that successful so we don't have everybody's up at 11 o'clock and mad?
Okay, so that's really good. I like that. Okay, so then I feel like that's a really successful answer to that. I feel that makes me happy and have some ease around that.